Hi, I'm Jermaine Jenas.
And we are the F2.
And we want to show you how to better determine sporting results using facts, stats and science.
And today we're looking into the importance of playing surfaces.
In tennis, we look at the elements that make different playing surfaces unique and how they can affect the outcome of a match.
We'll also see if there's any truth in the idea that a poor pitch closes the gap between the good football teams and the bad.
Plus, all the insights to help you be smarter as we prove once again
that luck is no coincidence. Yes!
Every sport needs a surface to play on, whether it's the concrete in your backyard or the green grass of your national stadium. The stuff under your feet matters. I want to know what gives a sporting surface its unique quality and how it affects performance. The pitch is football's battlefield, the surface on which dreams are made and destroyed. It's the source of endless excuses and even national embarrassment. But just how much do pitches influence games?
The better the surface, then the better the technical quality of the game. It stands to reason that a flat, quick surface is better for people who pass the ball quickly.
You have to put a different head on if you're going to play on a bobbly pitch, on a muddy pitch. It affects people's touch, it affects the tempo of the game, it will affect finishing, and it affects you mentally.
It can be difficult, you know, if you see the teams attempt to play a more direct ball and you find the ball bouncing around in very difficult conditions and you have a very tough combination.
But if it's a sunny day with showers, at certain times the pitch will dry out, so the through ball that would have carried through to you 10 minutes ago then won't carry through. So you come out to collect the through ball and all of a sudden it stops in the grass and you misjudged it.
But it isn't just the weather that can affect how a surface plays. One of the few ways that clubs are allowed to change conditions in their favour is to prepare a pitch that specifically suits their style of play.
Bayern bitterly complained when Atletico Madrid didn't cut their grass. If you play a passing game, it has an effect.
The quick passing that's a key part of how Bayern play is much harder to pull off.
And you could see the ball just is slower.
So that's a deliberate tactic taken by Atletico to stop Bayern playing a normal game. And it worked.
The traditional view of a football giant killing is that the lower-ranked team has to play at home to stand any chance of winning, welcoming the higher league side to their inferior pitch.
we want to test that theory and see just how much of an impact bad pitches have.
For that, we're having the ultimate game of two halves.
We're in South East London where two mismatched teams will go head-to-head. The red team are semi-professionals, known for their technical skill and stamina. The blue team are lower quality amateurs and should struggle against the far superior reds. In this experiment, we'll be kicking off on this beautiful, pristine surface.
Here we go, Jez. A little bit of rain on the surface makes the game go a bit quicker. But everything on the floor, running at your defenders, zipping the ball about, quick movements.
If you look now, I mean, the pitches are the most brilliant I've ever seen.
Touch. Great ball through. It's in. Oh, this could be a goal. Oh, well, it was in.
My perfect condition will be having a pitch where it's a bit wet, allowed a speedy game.
And you can tell the Reds, they're not even thinking about their first touch, they're thinking about the next move. Yeah, next move.
You can have a picture in your mind much quicker as a player. You can feel confident that you can play one-touch football.
Oh, he's got to score. Oh, what a goal, nutmegging goal. From start to finish, Reds have kept the ball on the floor, played it around, 1-0 breeze.
While the teams are back in their changing rooms for their half-time team talk, it's time for a change of location and a quick F2 makeover.
Great first half, lads, but I'm sorry to say, second half, you're over there. Sorry. You're at the back.
Let's see if a poor pitch levels the playing field.
Let's go, lads, on a terrible pitch. Hey. Yeah, they're all over the place.
Obviously, if you're running and if you're a dribbler, you will be struggling a little bit more than if you're just a passer.
Bad pitches can make good players look bad. Just mistimed because of the pitch.
You can't expect to score goals after playing 20 quick passes up the pitch because somewhere along the way, one of those passes is going to take a bobble and you have to adjust your approach.
It's going to be a goal. Goal! 1-1-1-1.
I'm not sure there's anything you can do tactically to mitigate a bad surface, because if you say, okay, we're going to play really long, it might not be beneficial because you have a small centre forward, or you're all about midfield and you're bypassing your own players.
Oh, the Blues seem to be responding better to the worst pitch. The game has been totally different from the first half.
This really was a game of two halves. On the good surface, the Reds dominated the Blues on every metric. But in the second half, the poor pitch tipped the balance, with the amateur Blues beating the semi-pro Reds on possession and pass completion, and levelling the match at 1-1.
What I will say is the quad bikes done their job.
It was an evener, weren't it?
It was.
The old FA Cup third round. Why were there so many upsets? You get drawn away down in whatever team it is, where that pitch is going to be, absolutely atrocious at that stage of the season. And that's why you got a lot of the knockouts that you did.
As a pro, you have to deal with that, but there's no doubt that it impacts some players more than others, and the end result of that is an upset.
Groundsman ain't going to be happy with you, mate.
Tell you what, though, good experiment.
And we have learned that bad pitches evens things up. Tennis is deliberately played on different surfaces, all of which have specific qualities that favour particular types of player.
So Nadal's known for clay court, Federer, grass, and Djokovic prefers a hard court.
We want to find out why the ball behaves so differently on clay, grass and hard courts, and how that gives individual tennis players a certain edge.
Well, the surface is the most important thing in tennis, I guess.
During a typical rally, the ball spends only a fraction of a second in contact with the ground. But what happens in that moment is crucial to determining how the ball behaves. With the aid of high-speed cameras, we're going to see exactly how the surface influences the speed and bounce of the ball, and the movement of the player coming to hit it.
To be an unbelievable clay court player, you have to have everything pretty good. Good forehand, good backhand, serve quite good, running, defending, attacking.
Clay is typically the slowest of the three surfaces. On contact with the loose clay, the ball digs in, slowing it down and increasing its exit angle. This gives clay its characteristic high bounce. The flight of the ball is slowed even further by the loose clay particles, which catch in the fuzz of the ball and increase drag.
You have more time to get to your ball, move your feet. But meantime, it's quite tiring because you need to use your own power to generate the speed, to generate the spin.
With more time to return, players on clay can use the loose surface to slide into position.
Nadal, he knows exactly the way how to play on clay. He got these shots with a lot of spin and he knows how to run. He defends better than anybody. And as soon as he has the control of the point, he gives you so much spin that you're not able to get into the court again.
To play successfully on the hard court, you need to have a big serve, you need to have fantastic ground strokes, and you need to be physically strong.
Unlike on clay, the ball can't dig into the bouncy surface of a hard court. This means the ball keeps more of its speed and leaves at a high exit angle, making the average hard court medium fast and with a high bounce. But the hardness of the surface comes at a price.
But if we're talking about injuries, I think that it's going to be even harder if you make an injury on the hard court. If you're running all the time on a hard surface, it's going to be really painful for your knees, and all your body is going to suffer more than if you run over a soft surface.
There's no doubt that Novak Djokovic is absolutely the best player in the world for the hard court.
He plays the ball flat when he wants, and he knows how to run on hard court. He's a great defender.
He can run as many hours as he wants. You know, his ground strokes are fantastic. You know, he's hitting the ball hard. He's placing the ball in the right corner of the courts where the other opponents have no answer to his shots.
When the ball strikes a grass court, it bends the individual blades of grass, allowing bounce with very low friction.
Playing on grass is like the ball doesn't bounce at all. As soon as it bounces, it just slips.
The ball loses very little speed, and the exit angle is the lowest of the three surfaces. This explains the high speed and low bounce of grass courts.
You have to be like really close to the ground all the time, and it's hard to defend and to run because it's really sleepy.
To compensate for the speed of grass, players have to be able to react and move faster to reach the ball quickly.
On grass court, well, Federer is my favorite player for all time. The points are shorter, he doesn't have to run that much, he has an unbelievable serve.
Viewed in slow motion, the unique properties of grass, clay and hard courts are revealed. Just 5 milliseconds of bounce are enough to completely change the behaviour of a tennis ball and create 3 very different types of tennis.
When betting on tennis, ensure you do your research beyond just the surface type and also look at the speed of the surface. It will massively impact your winning bet percentage. Nadal is one of the best clay court players in the world. Of course, he's an exceptional player on all surfaces, but the speed of the court will massively affect his chance to win. If you look, there are 5 different categories of court speed. Category 1 is the slowest, usually clay. Category 5 is the fastest, usually grass. However, hard courts can be any one of those 5 categories. And the faster the court, the less chance Nadal has of winning.
Artificial turf, like in Norway, it's a big factor for betting because 9 out of 16 teams is playing on AstroTurf, and those teams, they're having a really bad day when they go on to play on the grass.
It is important to see the quality on the surface, especially have a team who like to have a passing game. Take, for example, Barcelona. Very, very good when they can play on a good pitch. But if the pitch is a bit worse, it's going to affect their passing play a lot.
So we know what he's like with footballs, but how's Billy with tennis balls?
Join us again for more facts, stats and science.
As we show you once again that luck is no coincidence.